Yo, welcome to another episode of the Bjj Goons podcast. I'm your host, Tim, the Mushmaster Spriggs, and with me as always every week is
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Nico Ball, no new Nico. Glad to be back for another episode. I think we're all the way up at like 127. This shit's crazy. So, thank you for everybody that is joining us again this week.
yeah, it's been crazy, man. I was just looking at the numbers and I look at a lot of different jiu-jitsu podcasts. Not look at them, but I check every once in a while and we are for sure one of the most consistent and content-wise, I think we're unmatched. And I appreciate everybody listening to us for so long, through all the trials and tribulations, especially the audio, which I think is for now fixed. Would you say, Nico?
Yeah, I mean every week I mean the audio's fixed. As somebody that's like the tech head, there's always more to want. And like when they like photography is similar to rocket science. Photography, videography, the audio, the lighting, like there's just so much more. I guess it's just like compared to like new cars coming out every year. So if you're like in it, like you always want something else. If you're not, you're like my car works and yeah, it's good. So yeah, yeah. But the studio, it's looking nice. Tim got this little TV mounted. He's got like the surround sound. He's got like nice little system here. So if you're in the DMV area, I'm definitely gonna be trying to crash Tim's house to watch some fights for all everybody. We can pull in that Flow Grappling account.
We got to pull our money together, get the flow grappling.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
get that lifetime membership.
Is that a thing?
Well, by the time you guys are reading or listening to this, I'm going to be out of town doing some work with Flow. I cannot give any specifics at the moment, but I will say this: what I'm about to do for Flow would definitely be deserving of a lifetime membership for free Flow Sports. But that's just my opinion. So yeah, it's definitely come through to the BJJ Goons studio. Come to the Mushmaster Dojo, and let's have some fun, get some work in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But price of a brick went up, so if you're interested, make sure you go to timspriggsbjj.com for my coaching services. I teach private lessons both in person and virtually. I do game plans and match critiques and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and if you're cheap and don't want to pay no money, for just $20 a month, you can get access to the BJJ Goons tutorial library. So you'll get weekly episodes, and you can also review all of the past techniques that we put out. We were just filming some today with Carlos from Crazy 88, who's going to compete in Worlds. I know he had questions that he asked him. Which led to a technique. We filmed some of the behind the scenes stuff. Tim
Hmm.
showed my favorite move, which is the reverse. Well, Ezekiel in general, like if anybody knows me, you know that I will Ezekiel you at any given opportunity. There is a traditional Ezekiel that I have been working on for years. I have traveled the world picking up tips on this Ezekiel from people like Pabs and Fernando in New York, people like Eduardo Roque's coach Pernina down in Brazil. Like I've been working on my Ezekiel. Before I got injured, Master Lloyd introduced me to the reverse Ezekiel, and that's a technique that we filmed today, one of my absolute favorites, which will be dropping maybe today, maybe next week. So, check out those tutorials. Tim every week is like, what should I film? So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, keep your concerns to yourself, but give us your questions and your comments on techniques that you want to learn.
Yes, definitely make sure that you slide on by to the Patreon because I don't think I'm going to make an instructional series anytime soon, just off the strength of I haven't even gotten any contacts from anyone, and I'm a big proponent of ownership and why give a cut of something that I can do on my own, and also I'm not even going to front. Just off the strength of people fucking with me, I get instructionals from people all the time. And I'm like, where did you get this? And like, don't worry about it. And it's just a hard drive full of people's instructionals. And I already get a lot of hate as it is for no good reason. So I know for sure that if I drop something on BJJ Fanatics or Jiu Jitsu, they would pirate my shit with the quickness. And I think that it's important that if you have a community that you're building, such as ourselves at BJJ Goons, that we serve the community we're trying to build. And I believe that the best means to do that is by using the Patreon and giving back to you guys that support us. So that's why it's imperative that if you're a member of the Patreon, you slide on through, message us, and let's get you that instructional material that you're looking for. And I try to do bespoke training, you know what I mean? Like bespoke, like a bespoke suit, tailor made for you in the Goons community. So go on over to patreon.com/BJJ Goons. Get that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
You must. You must. Um, so what else is new with you, Nico? What's going on with you?
Not much. Just working on the move. Things are coming along quite nicely at the new place. I actually, well, I wanted to invest in. I guess I'll keep this on the regular episode. I wanted a stripper pole. I've been wanting a stripper pole for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But people that know me know that I lived in like kind of like a jail cell size conditions that did not provide for a stripper pole. None of the people that I love that are near and dear to me would let me put a stripper pole in their living room so I could practice. But I finally have a place where I could have my own. So I can't do much with my legs still. I'm not cleared for physical activity for another till December, but I can do stuff with like my upper body. So people, shout out to all my friends that are like, oh, I got a goofy image of you on that pole. Well, like, thank you, men. The only image I want of me in your head is a goofy one. Like, cause I ain't sleeping with none of y'all that listen to this right now. So, goofy images are good, but like, Natalie has a pole. Natalie in a series that they did the revolutionary recovery, and it's just really good for like upper body strength. I remember in Novo and Yao, when you wanted to ask for a fight, you needed to be able to go up and down a rope they had in the gym 5 times without stopping. Like if you couldn't do that, then like don't try to ask Day Day better than Natalie. Like don't try to waste Day Day's time for that kind of stuff. So people think I'm out here doing all this crazy stuff, but I'm really excited to at least be able to do some kind of physical activity because it's been like almost 6 months since I've trained jujitsu. So I'm really excited to get back into it. I hear Master Lloyd is working on some new Kimura stuff at the gym, so like grips are imperative for that. We have like a lot of drills and stuff that we're supposed to do to like train grips and things like that. Maybe we'll actually go over them in some tutorials. Like it will be post world probably by the time it gets out, maybe a little bit, but like some of my favorite like drills that we used to do on the team would be dope to see.
5 times up and down the rope at Novo Meow.
Yeah, no legs either. It was all hands, sitting on the ground on your butt.
And when you climb up, are your legs at a 90, well, straight in front,
You can put
parallel
your
to the
legs
floor?
wherever you want. Like generally because like you're sitting on the ground, your legs are wrapped around the rope, but you can't use it. And here's a quick tip. If you touch the rope with your sweaty ass clothes, it gets wet. It makes it incredibly hard. So if you're like trying to squeeze the rope with your legs, you're going to fuck yourself over actually.
And you were able to do that?
Not 5. But yeah, I was an amateur.
So that's no wonder they had such a great run.
Yeah, yeah. It was 5 times. And like it hurts on your grips. And like right now, like my middle fingers, like when I grab on, because we also used to do the belt challenge, like that started at Connection Rio where we'd like line up the belts and then you'd have to like hook your way across it. I'll repost it somewhere. Like I used to kill it. Eduardo Hockey came and he just like smashed that challenge and did it faster than me. But like, yeah, that was another really good one for your grips. But you'll notice like your knuckles, like if you have bad grips, like those things will go, and like that's super important in jujitsu. Like if you can't break a grip, you can't pass a guard.
I like hearing stories about that, like that, because I'm a big supporter of standards. I think a lot of times in martial arts and in life, lately we've been lowering the standards and letting shit slide just for the sake of making everybody feel good about themselves, including everybody, and making money. I think that I miss the days when there was a competition team and there was a tryout. I miss the days where practice would be hard as hell, and if you couldn't make it through, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I think that is the difference between successful competitors, successful teams, and hobbyists. And for better or for worse in jiu-jitsu, both are connected. You could be a hobbyist and go to a tournament As long as you put down your 150, $200, you can compete against a guy that is training like an animal, like you're in the favelas or like you're in Connection Rio or Novo and Yao in their prime.
Mhm.
And I think you see that in guys like Daisy Fresh. And Daisy Fresh, they have an intensity, they have a focus, and in the lower belt ranks, they're killing it because the lower belt ranks are filled with hobbyists and people that are just not as serious. I got a funny story before we get into the outline of the show. When I was a brown belt, my one and only year of brown belt, when I went to Worlds, first round I went against this older dude that looked like an accountant, and within the first 10 seconds I grabbed him and train wreck through him, and he was done. Like they was just like waved it off, and I just think about that. The standard. The standard is the standard.
The
I love it.
standard. Yeah, and not many people have standards. Like I people don't even be doing warm-ups anymore. Like
That's crazy to me.
I
Not
think
doing a warm up, not doing a warm up. Continue. I'm sorry.
I know. I just think it's wild. It's like because you see a lot of people that do jujitsu, they think it's just like, oh, we're gonna drill some, do some techniques. That's fun. So they don't actually approach it in a very athletic form per
Hmm.
se. Like because they say it could be like human chess. But I really often think about that, like, cause Sadiq talks about how what everything he had to do to get on the team, and like we don't necessarily do that. We don't do that at all at TLI anymore. But it's like I don't know if I'd be able to make it through all of that. And it's interesting, and it really does demand that like your entire focus to kind of like push yourself past what you're used to being able to do. And I think like nowadays um people are quick to try to sue you before like like yeah,
Hmm.
they won't let you. They don't want to leave their comfort zone. Everybody thinks that they know what is right. Like and I see it a lot because being in contact with Sadiq and seeing him training for the UFC and seeing the way that like
Hmm.
Master Lloyd will break him down on that little TRX machine, and it's like really forcing him to go beyond his limits, and he was doing it without a cola. Not many people will do that anymore. They're very very soft, I would say, in a way. Nutella, as you will.
Nutella Jiu Jitsu.
I got told Nutella the other day, by the way. For all the people that put garlic in tea when you're sick, you are more gangster than I will ever be. Cause ginger and lemon, that's fine. You put a little garlic in it. A little bit of garlic will fuck up a lot of tea. Um,
Why do you say that? What's wrong with putting garlic in your tea?
Garlic is really good for colds, but tastes really nasty. And like when you put it in tea, it's just like straight up garlic. Like it's not like when you put it in food, it's gonna be like mixed out. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So that's like I guess it's like a Hispanic remedy. Several
Jesus.
people have told me about it. My partner in Brazil tried to me to do it the other day, and I was like, "You are out your goddamn mind. Let me go get some Dayquil and Nyquil, which also has alcohol in it. It's not really good for you. I hate that.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder it works so good.
Mhm.
See, my stupid ass is I try to be proactive, and specifically before I go on trips. So I put like saline solution or like Zicam up my nose. But the problem is when you do that stuff, like it forces it just fucks my whole system up.
Yeah.
It does. You're just like and then the rest of the day you're like, why does my throat feel like this? Like, oh yeah, because I sprayed something up my nose trying to be preventative. But regardless, uh, what's new with me? I've just been really busy, like I said before. My life changed on September 26th and 27th. It really did. It's good though. It's been very overwhelming. I don't think I emphasize this enough. It can be very overwhelming how you work really hard and then you have your life plan and then other things come in motion and now everything's getting thrown at you and you have to hit while the iron's hot. Even though I hate hearing that word and that term, it's true. And for everybody that's listening, you just gotta be ready for the blessings, y'all. Like really, just keep grinding. I say this once, I said it again, I said it 1,000 times. If you do the right things long enough, eventually the universe will conspire to give you what you want and deserve. But damn, is it hard work. Good Lord, Nico. You know me. Like, I've just been scrambling. Like, I have not had any time to enjoy the fruits of my labor, really. I just got a new TV mounted, and, like, I got a sound system, booming system. Haven't been able to enjoy it, but that's okay. That's rich people problems.
Mhm.
That's first world problems. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's supporting, and that's what's new with me. Um, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of rich people problems, because I know it's cuffing season, but if you're not cuffed, it's the season of depression and fuck my life and fuck this, fuck that. I had a quote that really spoke to me. It's like, rich people are depressed too. They're just more resourceful. So just keep that in mind. Rich people are also depressed, hate them lives, hate their lives. They are just resourceful. So if you are at home, curled up in a ball, crying, listening to this, not wanting to train or do anything, or maybe you just finished training and you got your ass beat into a ball, just don't forget, rich people went through that too. They're just more resourceful. So find your resources. Tim did. It involved him going to Starbucks and everything. But he found that shit and now he's $32,000 richer. I want to know how much money is on this secret contract though too.
Mm, the secret contracts. I'm gonna be honest, yo. Like, yeah, it's a good year. It's a good year. It's a good year, and it's gonna get better. I believe. I'm gonna speak that into existence, and that's what you got to do, yo. You got to speak the positivity into existence.
Mhm.
You got to focus, right? You got to believe.
You have to have positive affirmations.
Positive affirmations. And this is going to be really important for all the people that will be competing in the ADCC trials in the East Coast this year. And not just in the East Coast. I mean, because by the time you guys hear this, it will be over. But man, all throughout the world, because this ADCC is going to be a huge deal. I will not be competing at the trials, and I probably won't get invited because for whatever reason, I just don't think I'm going to get invited. But that's not my plan. My plan is, well, you guys should already know what my plan is. But I do recall doing the ADCC trials a few years ago, and it was in a high school gymnasium, and it was a pretty good turnout. I had about 5 or 6 matches. But this year, oh boy, I keep hearing like there's hundreds of people doing the trials. Hundreds, like a whole shitload of people. And I don't know how sustainable these huge brackets for jiu-jitsu tournaments will be.
Really? Why isn't that like traditionally what they are? Huge. Like
Yeah.
maybe ADC's trial is a little bit different because it's niche. Um, but when we think about like worlds, aren't these brackets just generally massive?
Yeah, they are. But at a certain point, if jiu-jitsu continues to grow, I wonder how are we going to be able to maintain 100 plus man brackets of competitors and all the matches are a certain length, and the higher in belt rank you go, yes, they are smaller amounts of people at each belt rank, but that's still logistically a nightmare. I'm hearing stories of there's at least 100 people in some of these brackets for ADCC
It's wild. Well,
trials.
maybe then we'll have to break it down. It's like it's the East Coast trial and it's for the East Coast. You know, like if you're really trying to find a grappler from the East Coast, a grappler from the West Coast, Mid Coast, and you'll just be restricted to the trial that's in your area.
You might be. I was thinking this. They need to start their own circuit and have a point system to qualify for the trials.
Oh, that would also, yeah.
I think that if jiu-jitsu wants to take that next step, a huge part of that step is separating the hobbyists from the serious competitors, and a point system that qualifies you to higher levels of competition, such as the trials, such as a worlds for whatever organization or any kind of major event, will go a long way, and it would foster an environment in which people are forced, or it's a necessity for you to do the regionals that are opens. If you look at IBJJF, they have opens everywhere. And by open, it means anybody can come in.
Mhm.
And I think that's why the super fights are getting so popular, because if you ask a serious grappler or a professional, to them, they're thinking, well, I get more money for less matches. I'm going against better competition. I don't have to pay. and that's gonna help these promotions. Could you imagine ADCC did a regional circuit where they have an ADCC Open in major cities? Then you win or you get enough points, then you're allowed to do a regional trials to qualify to get into it. I mean, that's just my take because you can still get money for these businesses. However, you'd still be able to separate the hobbyists from the serious competitors. That's what I would think they should do. Cause ain't nobody trying to sit there and watch a 100-man bracket, dude. That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. But somebody's got to run through them, right? If you want to find out who is the best of the best, you gotta.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
true.
that is like the theory of competition. But like, yeah, how to make it easier to manage is an organizational problem anywhere, I think.
Mm, huge problem, huge issue. I think the most people I ever fought in one day was like 8 or 9, and that was the Brown Belt Grand Prix at the Jiu Jitsu World Expo in 2012 or 13. Long day, and what was rough about it was all my matches went the distance because those guys were fucking
You were
good.
not a finisher back then, so yeah, that
No,
really sucks. No way to like pace yourself. You're just putting out all the work,
and
all of it.
it's gi. That means you're like just gi is just like you're doing this the whole fucking time
I
for
mean, I'd
me.
rather be in gi than no gi. I feel like at least when you can do this, then you can, but not when it's no gi. It's just so slippery.
Speak for yourself, Mrs. Oh, I just climbed the rope with no legs 5 times in a row. No biggie.
Hey,
No big
hey,
deal.
I'm
No
gonna be
big
doing it
deal.
again. Yep.
I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm not a hater, okay? I'm not like all these people on social media.
And there are
I'm
a
not a
lot.
hater. I it is.
There's a lot. Although, however, I have jumped into the pot, and I believe that you should fight Craig first because he has put up a bet that he wants you to lather him in soap and rub him down if he wins. But I have requested the exclusive rights to his OnlyFans content if you win, and I think we should get that.
Are you serious? Or are you being funny?
I mean, that's what I was doing while you were in the bathroom, messaging that, putting that on the comments. Yo, I was in the comment section. Normally, I don't participate, but yeah, I mean, we'll see if he responds.
Wait a minute. What? He actually wants me to lather him up in soap?
Yeah, he said if he wins, he wanted a bubble bath. Yeah, he wanted you to wash him.
I don't get that. What is the purpose of this? This is why I don't take him serious.
I mean, nobody takes him serious, but it is like, from a marketing perspective, like OnlyFans content, like this is like the masters. I think that would be good. I said for the Bjj Goons, so it would be us. I think that would be a good acquisition for the pod.
I'm not gonna take that match. I'm not taking that match.
You would get paid from Flow Grappling and you would get his OnlyFans content. Somebody call Tim and tell him why this is a business savvy move. Have you not seen the new Wu Tang Clan on RZA and like Divine talking about the. No. You got to own your masters, but you have Craig's masters too.
So he would give me all his content. Basically, I would own it, and he had to pay me
We
by
get the
shooting on it.
Well, what I asked for was this is an us. First of all, motherfucker. He said me. How
Okay.
quick did he just take the us? I don't even.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
the one
the exclusive
involved.
production rights of his OnlyFans content, so he wouldn't be able to shoot anything that was not owned by us for anymore.
That's
You
pretty hilarious.
Mhm.
I don't think he'd take me up on that offer.
I mean, like if he wants to fight, then he's gotta,
I don't think. I don't think he really wants the match. I think. Well, the thing with him is this: he loves getting put into win-win situations, and that's not really cool. That's kind of whack. Because here's why. I looked at his record, right? His last 2 matches, he went against Davi Ramos, who he won by decision. But Davi Ramos is a MMA fighter, and he's much older. He barely beat Tyrell Tolo, won a decision there. Recently, he lost to Mason Fowler twice, in a rule set that suits him, correct? And I think Mason Fowler finished him at least once. You know what happened to Mason Fowler, who's number one? He lost first round. You know who won who's number one? I did. Do you know how I won? Leg locks. Do you know who I beat? Top 5, top 10 level competitors. in the basically that ultra heavyweight division or the open division. The whole reason why he's even in the conversation is because Flo loves him, and he has a lot of followers. He has a lot of clout, but as an athlete, I don't think he's at the level where he deserves to even be considered for a match with me. And at the end of the day, yes, clout runs a lot of things, but I'm the champion, and I could give two shits if I ever compete again. So you can't make me fight someone that's not worthy of it. You can't make me not go after a match against someone who's way better. Me fighting Craig Jones is a step down in competition. So for him, it's a win-win because when I beat his ass, if the match would ever happen, he could always say, one, he just came off a competition, he came off an injury, and two, he's smaller than me. Now, I beat his ass. They're going to say he came off an injury, and he's smaller than you. And I get dunked on anyway. I just beat the best grapplers in the world. I beat the reigning ADCC champion. Craig Jones loses in matches against guys his size or barely wins against guys that are MMA fighters that are way past their prime. But somehow he wants to be silly guy and be a comedian and everyone thinks it's okay. No, I'm not taking that stupid ass match. I want Gordon Ryan because Gordon Ryan says he's the best. He said it was the interim title. I'm going after him. If they don't want to give me the match, who cares? I'll move on because one last thing I have to worry about. So, boof. That's how I feel about the whole situation. I mean, guy, and I don't like how he's doing what kind of Gordon Ryan is doing, where they're gonna sit on the sidelines and let their army of internet trolls and bunch of dorks that are their fans just try to influence the conversation, or they use bots. Because a huge thing now with social media is people have little bot farms where they'll type in a certain responses and then they just get sent out. So it gives the post engagement, and then people will just look at it and say, "Oh, well, this post gets a lot of engagement, so I guess that means a lot of people want this or want that." But I'm not stupid. I know
Yeah.
how the game is played.
Every time like I post something with like hashtag podcast or something, I don't know. I always get it promoted on Black, da 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 da, promoted on this, promoted
Yeah,
on that. Da, da,
every
da,
time
da.
I post,
It's very annoying.
I'm just over social media. We need an intern for the podcast just to do that shit because I'm over it, man.
Like I'll give it to you. Like you do post to your own social media. That one you've gotten a lot better with.
Yeah,
We do need an intern though. If you're interested in working with the BJJ Goons podcast and you know how to edit videos, do subtitles, or are just an organized kind of person, no, we don't need just organized. You need skills that are
yeah.
applicable. I'm
Real
sorry.
organized. Fuck all that.
So we were talking about standards, and we have standards, like, cause that's that's been my issue. If y'all have your own businesses or doing stuff, don't hire your friends. Hire people that know what the fuck they are doing. It will make your life so much easier. And then you can just pay your friends, like, you can buy your friends drinks instead of trying to pay them a salary, and it will make things go so much better in your life. But we could use somebody to help out making clips, transcribing, subtitles. You don't have to necessarily do them in the program, but transcribing them would be amazing. You can hit us up on the BJJ Goons podcast Instagram. I'm not even going to drop an email because we need more interaction for the Instagram. So if you're interested, hit us up on the BJJ Goons podcast Instagram. If you email Tim, I'm going to instruct him to ignore the shit out of you because I know my goons listen, my engagement, because y'all still be up at my DMs giving me forwards, and I love y'all for it.
Yeah. Speaking of deferring to experts, I just want to shout out to two of our sponsors. Blue Edge Business, they're the people that help with my website. You can go to them for all your website creation, web development, and online marketing needs. Tell them Tim Spriggs sent you for a special discount. And when it comes to food, I don't mess around. I use John's Fit Meals. They're a local food and meal prep company that specializes in food for athletes. So all my jiu-jitsu goons out there, make sure you hit John's Fit Meals. Go there to their website and use promo code BJJ Goons for even better discount than you can imagine. And That's it from me. Besides that, just follow me on Instagram at BJJ Goons Podcast or TimSpriggsBJJ.com. Instagram, I'm talking to you. Where the hell is my blue check mark? Besides that, just go to TimSpriggsBJJ.com for all your training needs, whether it is a match critique, a game plan, a private lesson, both in person or virtual. Nico,
Make sure to follow me on Instagram at no new Nico. That's no underscore new underscore Nico. I am not on any other social media platform. Occasionally, I will be on Facebook sharing articles, but you can find more articles about events and just BJJ in the community impact on favelajujitsu.com. Hoodies are on their way back in stock, but if you watch the news, you know that the mail is messed up, and Favela Jiu-Jitsu is bearing that burden as well. So new hoodies, sweatpants, all that stuff is coming in. You can get that on favelajujitsu.com.
this has been the BJJ Goons Podcast. Peace.